Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to see you here. But if you haven't already joined my Discord server, make sure to join my Discord server. We have loads of fun here, and enjoy the video. Okay, so before this video starts, I just want to keep a couple things clear. So the first thing is that the person I'm making this GFX for in the video is my friend Shiny, and she won't be revealing her name for personal reasons. But now that I've gotten all that out of the way, I can go ahead and start the video. So my first tip is, when you're making a GFX, sizing is really important. You want to make sure that the render is big enough and it can actually fill in this space. And in this example specifically, I think that the render is a bit too small and it just looks kind of weird in my opinion. So I'm going to put one of my examples up on the screen so you can kind of compare and really take a look at the difference. I think it looks much better in my opinion. If you're confused what I'm talking about, you can just kind of make your render the head of your render fit the top of your screen. Well, not the screen, the top of the page when you're editing. And, just make the bottom part reach the bottom of the page. And, okay, now that tip has gone out of the way, I can go ahead and move on to my next tip. So, tip number 2. Also, sorry for using this person's example again, but I just kind of put it up to let you guys, so I can explain more what I'm talking about. Anyways, wait, in this part in the GFX, by the way, in this VGFX, I'm just kind of adding the accessories, so don't mind that it looks weird. But anyways, my next tip is make sure to use loads of overlays. You want to bombard the screen with overlays. I'm talking so many overlays to the point where you can't even really see the background that well, and it should be able to look really full and nice. And yeah, I hope that helps with your GFXs. And when I tell people to add when I tell people to add overlays, they usually just add 1 or 2 overlays. But no, I mean add so many overlays, as many as you can fit. And also, another tip that I have is make sure the colors match, or there's some sort of color scheme with your render and your background. So there shouldn't be completely different colors. The colors should kind of be a little bit more cohesive and blend well together. So that's another really important tip, and I hope you guys enjoy that tip. And now I'm gonna move on to my next tip. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Okay, so I would really heavily recommend having an overlay around your GFX work. It just makes it pop a lot more, and it makes it stand out. And you can even just do a white outline around your render. And well, if you're doing a scene GFX, obviously not. But yeah, also I would recommend on how to make scene GFXs and add pipes and bubbles. And also, so that's my third tip. Also, make sure to continue watching if you want to get more clients, become more experienced. The mic cut out a little bit. Also, yeah, I am planning on getting a mic soon, so sorry about that. And I'm going to stop yapping that much and give you guys more tips. So don't worry, stay tuned. But yeah, so my next tip would probably be to make sure that you know how to make pipes and bubbles. If you don't know what those are, I'll probably link a tutorial in the description. If I don't, sorry, I might be lazy. But yeah, so also random side note, I really like how this GFX is turning out so far. But yeah, anyways, let me get back into the tips. Next tip is make sure that you're using HDRIs. If you don't know what HDRIs are, I'll link them in the description, or you can look them up. So HDRIs are basically a free complex lighting thing that you can install into your GFXs, and it works a lot more effectively. Sorry, I'm laughing. I don't know why. It works a lot more effectively than if you were to use something like Blender Lightroom. Also, now I'm moving on to doing the background, so if you guys enjoy that. Anyways, yeah, so it lights your scene a lot better than normal Blender Blender Lightroom, sorry. Why can I not speak? Also, that leads me on to my next tip. I highly recommend using rigs instead of making Roblox Studio GFXs. And you might be wondering, why does every rig GFX maker hate Roblox Studio ones so much? It's really because the rigs just are a lot more high quality and smoother, and it's way more fun to post them in Blender, but either than Roblox Studio. If you don't know how to use rigs, I'll make a tutorial, so let me know in the comments, or you can try to find a tutorial. There's a lot of good tutorials out there for high quality rig GFXs, and yeah, I might link the rigs that I use in the description. Yeah, I use two main ones, but yeah, anyways, let me just get on to my next tip. So my next thing is Blender settings matter. You might be thinking like, oh, they don't even matter, and just like exporting your stuff, but make sure that your samples are always on about 150. If they're below 100, then that's kind of a problem because they're going to not look good quality, and if they're really high, like 3,000, 4,000 and above, then they're going to take forever to render, and the quality isn't going to be much of a difference, or not noticeably, I guess. But yeah, I keep my max samples around 150 and my low samples around 100. And yeah, it's just kind of a reference for you guys, so don't make your samples too high or too low, and if your render looks a little weird, just change those up, and I hope that helps. So my next tip isn't really a tip, it's more like a rule or a rule of thumb, I guess, to help you out. I don't know. But anyways, so this is very important, so make sure that you're not copying any other GFX artist GFX work. So that means having original poses, having original color schemes, or whatever. I mean, inspiration is always fine, but some people take it way too extreme by copying like everything about someone. So yeah, just have your own things, own ideas. I mean, you get inspired again, but there's a fine line between inspiration and copying, or outright stealing. And that's not really a tip, but just thought I would include it in this video. So yeah. And okay, now I'm getting into my next tip, which is, hold on, let me get my list. Oop. Oh, right, my next tip was about keeping your files organized. So a lot of people want to ignore this step or straight up just not think about it. But yeah, having your orders, especially if you're doing orders, organized in a file and folder and named for each customer really helps, and to make sure that you're not getting anything confused, and keeping things in a folder so you can really find them. Like, someone can call you out and be like, oh, I got scammed, but if you still have their GFX in your GFXs folder, you will be able to find it and, bust that myth or whatever, I guess. So yeah, there's many reasons why it's important to keep your files organized, and I would recommend making a GFX folder in your computer, and even character folders. I'll probably put up a screenshot of mine. So yeah, character 1, character 2, and just keeping them all organized. Probably using folders. Yeah, also if you have old GFXs, or also every time you export something like an avatar or whatever it is, make sure you're deleting it after you make your render. Yeah, that's really important. You want to make sure your computer gets like a million images on it. So, and how to keep that more organized is just deleting them right after. So yeah, that's something I would highly recommend doing. And if you haven't been doing it, implement it throughout the future of your GFX career, because it will be really useful. So also, a lot of people have no idea how to make backgrounds or anything like that, and they think that they have to spend lots of money on Photoshop, but no, there's actually a really good alternative that I'm actually using right now, and it's called Photopea. You can also use Canva, but I would really recommend Photopea, especially for overlays. So yeah, if you I'll link the website again in the description down below. I'm going to have to link so many things in, but I really want to make it a lot easier for you guys. And yeah, so I'm going to be linking that in the description box down below. And if you have any more questions, make sure to comment them down below. And yeah, I'm not done with tips yet, so don't leave. I have a couple more tips before you leave. Okay, so also I forgot to say this, but using reference photos can be incredibly helpful on trying to get the correct pose you're looking for, and you can really use other people's GFXs or Pinterest. Remember, if you're doing other people's GFXs, make sure you're not copying them. But if you feel stuck with getting poses or whatever, you can also download pre-made poses for absolutely free, which I'll be making some, but I believe Sunny X Kitty has some as well. And I'll probably be linking that in the description down below as well, along with the other million things I'm linking down below. But yeah, that's pretty much all for that tip. So another important tip is to make sure your GFXs aren't stiff. And what I mean by that is like making sure that you bend them enough and that it doesn't look straight or boring, you know. It just takes a couple seconds to get the right pose. So yeah, it's another thing with poses that can help you. And make sure you also like posing the head, even if it's just tilting it a little bit. And everyone forgets to pose their fingers, but yeah, pose the fingers as well. And yeah. So if you want to save your GFXs in higher quality, I would recommend saving them as PNGs and not GMPEGs or whatever they are. Yeah, so make sure to switch it to that if it's not already on that. And that's just a small tip. So now I'm on one of my final tips is making sure that you change up your camera angle. And basically, you don't want to have all your camera angles just in the same straight, boring pose, like position, I guess. So make sure to get some camera angles from the side, back, you know, up more. Just change it up a bit. Also, if you really like a pose, more on the pose topic, I know I've been on this topic for so long, but it's really, really important when you're making new GFXs. So yeah, if you make a pose that you really, really like, I would recommend saving it, and you can reuse it in the future. And yeah, you know, so you don't have to redo the same heart pose a million times, because I know everyone asks for that. Well, a lot of people do, not everyone. But yeah, so I just saved my heart hand pose, and I'm able to, you know, just keep using it for every heart pose. Also, if you're getting bored of your GFXs, remember, don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone. That means trying new styles, you know, like different types of GFXs, like if you've never made a background GFX, make a background GFX, and yeah. And okay, so now we moved on to some of my last tips, which are going to be about customer service wise. And yeah, because this video is getting kind of long, and I'm almost done with my speed GFX. But yeah, so okay, my final tips are about customer service. So let me just get straight to them. So by customer service, I mean like how you handle your clients. For example, you want to make sure that you want to make sure you're making whatever they're asking for. And even if you're not really used to making whatever they're asking for, or don't agree with it, or don't like it, or whatever, they're the customers at the end of the day. They have to do the order. So I would recommend letting them tell you your order, and then you can choose to accept it, and then they'll pay you, if that makes sense. So you can choose the client orders first before they pay you, because you're not really able to get refunds that well in Roblox, as once they pay you, you only get 70% back, so you'd actually be losing Robux instead of your goal to make Robux. So yeah, that's really helpful. Also, make sure you're being nice to the customers, obviously, and if you have rude customers, don't be afraid to cancel their order. And yeah, but don't cancel it for no reason. And if you are late and you're taking a really long time, just make sure to explain it to them so they don't think you're just like not caring about them. Okay, this brings me to my very last tip, which is take your time and have fun. If you're having fun and being creative with your GFXs, it will definitely pay off. Also, making sure that you're kind of having a standard level of quality of work compared to the other GFXs, and don't rush any of your orders, even if you have a time frame. And well, if they're rushing you, that's kind of a different story. But yeah, I don't like when people rush me. But anyways, that pretty much wraps up the video and brings us to the ending of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the tips, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the GFX that I made in this video. But yeah, if you want to see any more videos from me in the future, make sure to let me know. This is my first video, and if you guys don't know, this is my second channel. My main channel is where I post my role plays. So yeah, And this was pretty good for my first video, I think. But if you want to see a GFX tutorial or anything else like that, I have some video ideas in mind, so make sure you go check them out. And other than that, I guess I'll see you in the next video. Bye, my lovely angels!